Pisces, you are up for the October Tarot Energy Reading. Before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Okay, so I usually do 3 readings a month. I do the general reading, I do the love reading, I do the money reading. This is the general. Whatever reading you listen to or watch, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. I'm just a person sitting here reading the energy and the tarot cards. You know your story better than I ever could. With that being said, I'm using one of my custom decks. I just created this. This is a deck of quotes, is what this is. Quotes from all types of people, from presidents to real housewives to comedians to whatever. And it covers love, romance, what else? Health, fitness, inspiration, motivation. You name it, it's in here. So anything can come out. All right, let's get started. May I have the energy for Pisces for October? May I have the energy for Pisces for October? May I have the energy for Pisces for October? What is it that Pisces needs to hear? What is it that Pisces needs to hear? What is it that Pisces needs to hear? And also, I will clarify these cards with a regular tarot deck after I pull them. May I have some cards, please? Those almost wanted to come out but didn't, so we will see if they come out again. Thank you. May I have some more cards, please? Thank you. May I have some more cards, please? Thank you. Bottom of the deck. It says, when you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on. Former President Franklin D. Roosevelt, FDR. I'll read it again for the people in the back. When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on. All right. And let's see what else came out. Okay. So this one says, concentrate all your thoughts upon the work in hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. Alexander Graham Bell. And I'll read this again. Concentrate all your thoughts upon the work in hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus. Which makes sense. And what he's talking about, which I'm sure you know, like with the magnifying glass, you know how when you were a kid, you would hold the magnifying glass up to the leaf or up to a leaf, or, you know, if you were a little bit, then you would do stuff to ants, because kids used to do that too, and focus that sunbeam through the magnifying glass on whatever it is, on paper, on leaves, and then it would be able to burn a hole in it. But if you just hold paper up in the sun, the paper is not going to catch on fire. Nothing's going to get burned. It's saying that when you focus the rays of the sun, then that's when it will start to burn. And that's what Alexander Graham Bell is talking about. He's talking about focus your thoughts in your work. That way you can go ahead and see results and produce results. Make sure that you're laser focused. All right. Second card that came out is, if God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. That is by Voltaire. And then the final card to come out, people are lonely because they build walls instead of bridges, by Joseph F. Newton. People are lonely because they build walls instead of bridges. Right, let's go ahead and clarify these. Can we clarify, concentrate all your thoughts upon the work in hand. The sun's rays do not burn until brought to a focus, by Alexander Graham Bell. May I have a card clarifying that, please? Thank you. Got to be willing to take chances. The Fool card. So, with that, this is Aries and really Aquarius energy as well. This is about being willing to explore, but also, other thing with the Fool, be mindful of your thoughts. Pay attention to things and go on the other side of this with the focus. Because if you notice, the dog, usually in the Fool card, the dog, you see that dog right there for those who are watching the video? The dog is usually trying to tell the Fool, hey, there's a cliff right here, you don't want to fall off. Is what the dog is attempting to do in a lot of tarot cards. That is what I'm telling you. Make sure that you are focused so you don't fall off the cliff. Now, with the Fool card, it is about exploration. It is about starting over. It is about taking a chance, is what that's about. It is a travel card. Some of you may be traveling, especially with this being by Alexander Graham Bell. Some of you may be traveling because of a phone call. Someone may be inviting you to go somewhere, like to another city or something like that. Again, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. All right, can we clarify, if God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him, by Voltaire. Thank you, that came out quick. 2 cards came out. Queen of Wands and the 8 of Wands. So we have movement again. So going back to where I was talking about before, I believe some of you are going to travel. And then you have the Queen of Wands. Someone may want to see you. In the sense of they want to be in your presence. Someone might even be willing to pay for you to come to them. Like take care of your expenses and stuff. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Going back to this reading where, and I'm looking at these 8 of Wands. I don't know why. This is so weird for me. If you look at this 8 of Wands, I think of this as putting stuff out into the universe. And paired with the Queen of Wands, which also 8 of Wands plus Queen of Wands is the 9 of Wands. 2. Which that can be wounded warrior, setting boundaries and things like that. Somebody could be guarded as well. But what I think about is that these wands are connected to this queen, where it's almost like someone has to feel like they're connected to something and be passionate about something. I feel with this particular quote, if God didn't exist, what could people be passionate about? How would they be able to tap into their passion? Would they be able to tap into their passion if they felt that there wasn't someone out there believing in them and on their side? And again, I feel like with this 8 of Wands, I just think about putting stuff out into the universe and it being connected to this one entity is what it is. And I feel like some people want to feel like they're connected to something. And I keep hearing something about a telephone call. I don't know what that is about. Whoever it is, and I'm not talking about somebody like in your city that calls you to say, hey girl, you want to go to the club this weekend? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a call either from someone you haven't heard from in a while or someone at a good distance, like more than 200 miles away. That's what I'm talking about with the phone call. So yeah, you may get a call. And I'm not saying everybody's getting a phone call. I'm just saying someone may get a call from someone long distance. And I feel like it's going to involve traveling. It may be from a Sagittarius. Or either a Leo. I don't really feel Aries. I feel like it could be a Sagittarius or a Leo. But yeah, it doesn't have to be. But I feel like it could be. All right. Can we clarify people are lonely because they build walls instead of bridges, by Joseph F. Newton? Can we clarify that, please? Okay, 2 cards came. It happened again. Man, someone's going to be traveling. Some of you may have been keeping to yourself. But I really feel someone is going to travel. 2 of Wands came out. This is a travel card. It's about looking. 2 of Wands is about making a choice, but also it's about looking out towards the long term. And it can be about traveling, is what it can be about. Now, the card that came out with it is the 3 of Cups. This is water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, specifically Cancer energy. But there is I feel like there might be a long distance get together somewhere. So, and I feel it's connected to this call. I feel, going back to building walls, this may be, this call coming in, or that came in, because don't forget, we are still, right now, this being recorded in September, even though this is for October, we're still in Mercury retrograde. So it's not far-fetched for a call from someone from the past that may be in another city, far away, or another country. It's like, hey, how have you been? Whatever, whatever. Do you want to come out and visit me in Paris? Or do you want to come out and visit me in Sydney or Tokyo? Or wherever. It's not a stretch. And going back to this card, where the walls may have been up, and that's going back to what I was talking about before, because I feel like there's a lot of this is connected with the Queen of Wands and the 8 of Wands, which equals the 9 of Wands. I feel there was some type of guardedness, because maybe you were dealing with your own stuff and you didn't want to really have conversations with people. But now there may be an opportunity to actually get back with a group again. And it may be a one-time thing. I'm not saying that you're going to do this and then you're going to stay in touch, every single month afterwards. This may be a thing where you just hang out, have a good time, reminisce about the old times, and then after that, you may not speak again for another 10, 15 years. But I do feel that there's something there with reconnecting. And I also feel it may be related to an unexpected long-distance phone call. That's what I got. So I'm going to title this, Learn to Focus and Expect the Call. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Till next time, be blessed.